I'm speaking today about a topic that should need no introduction, but it does, and that's introductions. The wise men on the internet say that there are 3 ways for a man to meet a woman, or vice versa. 1 is on the internet, and the easy way and the hard way on the internet. The easy way is through a dating app where you pay a little money, and you look at a picture and say, yeah, I like it, swipe left. But that's kind of a low percentage thing, because truly quality people don't go on the internet to meet people. And the hard way on the internet is to establish your own website, let people come to you, which they will if you become popular. That takes a big investment, but it's a big return if it works. Won't work for most of us. Second way to meet people is the cold approach, in person. Hi, I'm Graham. How do you do? Couple of drawbacks with that. First of all, you have to look like a Greek god, which I never have, or you have to have a very smooth line of patter in order to get past the girl's natural and reasonable defense. And you don't know anything about the girl going in. She may not be what you want, and if she's a high-class girl, she probably won't think you're what she wants. So the odds of success really aren't that vast, even when it works. Which leaves the third, which is meet face-to-face in a social situation. Your classmates in university, you work together cubicle by cubicle, or you meet at a place like Art Talkers. A couple of problems with this. First, unless you're in a very lucky position, you don't meet that many people. The flow of people going by is not that great, that's one. And second, you have to bridge the gap from classmate or workmate to love interest. So if they've known you as a kid who gives good speeches, and you all of a sudden come up heartthrob, 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 they're going to say, but that's not who you are. That doesn't work. Now, I'm saying that they have left out something important, which is introductions. Back to my introduction. Introductions. I have introduced people to each other, and when I did, I knew that they were interested in relationships. So all of a sudden, all the guesswork, most of the guesswork, is done because I know he's looking and she's looking, and I introduce them. And the introduction has another value in that I'm a known quantity to each of them, so I can kind of vouch for the value on both sides. So they can be comfortable talking to each other. Introductions used to be de rigueur, used to be what you had to do. A lady would not talk to a man without a proper introduction a couple hundred years ago. So how did it happen? Well, it turned out that there were social structures that facilitated introductions. At the village level, there were village dances where people knew each other and the adults knew who was who, and they would introduce the boys to the girls and the other way around. In the village, I've been to village dances. I went to a lovely one in Argentina. I wrote about it. But there were also, in high society, similar things. They had gatherings, dinners and parties and balls and such like that. So you'd go to the ball and you'd be introduced to, like Cinderella was introduced to the charming prince, and you could dance and you could talk. And there are also dinner parties. People used to be more sociable and they had relatives, so they'd have a dinner party, somebody new comes in the neighborhood, oh, come on over, come on over, come on over. And people got introduced that way. It was a pretty effective system going a couple of hundred years ago. So how do we work introductions today? I at least am aware of it. As I said, I've introduced a couple of people who got married, and I have my eyes out. So when I'm riding on the bus, as I was a couple of weeks ago, riding on the bus with Mary Anna on my lap, and a couple of pretty girls got on the bus. Well, I'm an old guy with a young girl on my lap, no threat to them, and they smiled when at Mary Anna. Women like children. So I got to talk to the girls, and they're comfortable with me. And now if I'm riding that bus and Eddie happens to be with me, which may happen, he uses the same bus stop, I'll be able to introduce him. Say, Eddie, this is Emma. Emma, this is Eddie. Well, kids being bashful the way they are, they'll say, hi, and nothing will come of it, at least not while I'm there, but they'll know each other, and next time they get on the bus together, they may talk a little bit. So I think that introductions are something of an institution that we need to get back to, something that used to work and something we should be aware of. So that's my introduction to you, is when you're looking for somebody, get to know who can make introductions for you, and look forward to being introduced to people that you might be interested in. Madam Toastmaster.